All right, you guys.
I'll text her too.
Okay, good. Hi. Okay. Some of the other girls can catch the recording, and Jess is here with us. She is driving home from her appointment, so she should be able to jump on when she can. But so excited to have Darci with us today and Katie. And we will hopefully be having Brandy with us as well. But they're here today to talk to you guys to share about a little bit about them and how they went diamond. And I hope you guys have questions or anything you guys want to answer. I'm sure they're happy to share. And hopefully you guys will get to see a little piece of their story, and you guys will a lot of them will probably be common, where I truly think like diamond is that decision. They make that decision to go for it, to go all in, to get super intentional with, all the things we know we need to do. And I know they'll go a little more in depth about that, but yeah, Darci, I don't know who wants to go first, or Darci, if you want to go first, since you were on first, and share a little bit about how you went diamond, who were your emeralds, and anything else you want to share with us.
Of course. Hi, I'm Darci, and I am a full-time teacher. And so I work this business in pockets of my day. And I just approached Jenna one day on social media, and I was like, hi, I want to do this. And she's like, okay, I think the form said like, how fast or slow do you want to do it? And I was like, I want to go. So from then on, I just made a decision that I wanted to, do like whatever I could to excel in the business. So I've just been, basically what I did when I started was what was suggested of me, to sign my husband up. That was my first goal. So once I stacked my right leg and my left leg, I then went into my husband's account and I put 2 people under him. And this was in a matter of a few weeks that I did all of this. And when I look back, Jenna and I were talking, like, I just sat down. We had a power hour, like one evening. We just sat with our Zoom muted, and we just were blasting invites. And she was sharing with me, hey, this is what I'm saying. What are you saying? And I mean, it was a matter of like, not 100% cold. It was my warm market. I mean, a lot of these people were and are like work people, friends. I'm trying to think of my other emerald coach ended up asking me for how she could join me in a boot camp. And I was lucky enough that she said, can I just, you know what, I'll just join as a coach. Probably not going to do anything, but I know I'll have the discount. I don't even know. I think she just assumed there was no preferred customer account. And once she did that, she was like, you know what? I think I might want to do this. So then she just decided to start having people join her from there. So I really do feel that I lucked out in that sense, because I had a coach ready and willing to work and wanting to, sign people onto her team too. And what she did is she signed her husband up first and then her sister. So for me, I'm an only child, but I know, a lot of the coaches do that too. And they use like a family, help with a family member and a husband or whatever. And I think that what I continued to do was not give up until I basically just kept going Jenna was in quals for a certain goal, and she was like, we were hyped up in the group. So if you can lock arms with somebody who's also trying to reach diamond or hold diamond, that was a lot of fun. Like, it was like we were racing the clock together almost. So that was fun. And so I guess that's what I just continued to want to help her, because I knew that this was a goal she had. I mean, but like, it was like a deadline of the year. It was like, you didn't do it now. It was like, she had countdowns of like how many each one, and I will say that helped me too. Like, I'm a visual person. So having a picture of my diamond, map. And if you guys, you probably made your diamond map by now, but we were filling in bubbles, and there were like a group of us in this chat, and we were like, okay, we need a couple more. And it was like, yeah, the hustle was definitely real. But I was ready for it. So I, wanted to hustle. It's like, I don't know. That's just, I guess that was in me to want to do it. And it was just, and now it's in me to continue to hustle. And, um, I will say that for me, I don't know if I'm not speaking for you, Katie, or anything, but for me, I still continue to, it's not that I don't struggle to, sign people. I think that there's, you know, you are always asking, inviting, right? You should always be inviting. And is it always perfect? No. So, keep that in mind too, that just because I'm a diamond coach, I don't I don't have any different of a not struggle, but I don't have any magic thing, I guess. I'm totally doing all the things you are probably doing too, and I'm continuing to do it. Like, I'm continuing to hit Success Club this month, continuing to try my hardest till the bell rings at midnight on the 31st. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell right now. And I don't know if you want me to add anything, Jenna, before
No,
Katie.
I love that. I mean, so we have our date of April 7th. So just like Darci, like having that date, that diamond date, like having that date and like pushing towards that goal. And, Darci didn't have much time either, since we're getting so close to that diamond date for these girls hitting it. And, she just, right. I mean, literally was just like, what am I going to do to make this happen? And sending invites, jumping on with other girls on the team, sending invites, masterminding with other the girls. And so who were your two emeralds again, Darci? You shared?
Yeah, for me it was my husband, and then one of my coaches who was just looking for an accountability group, and then said, I'll just sign up for the coach discount. Not even, it was literally before I even had to spiel my spiel, like it was like, I'll probably sign up as a coach. I think she just had some other experience with other like companies signing up. You could sign up as a coach for the discount. Beachbody just added that on for the preferred customer. So you can only, so maybe that was it. But she was like, I know how this goes, so I'll probably just sign up as a coach, get the discount. And, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. And then like, it was almost like days went by, and she was like, I think I'm gonna do this. Like, and like I said, I will say that I definitely feel like I lucked out in that sense, because it just sort of happened that in that way. But if you want, I'll share I do have another Emerald coach who was in a boot camp, and she loved her results, loved the fire, the motivation. She said, you know what? I invited her to a coach sneak peek, and she was like, I'll take a look, but I'm probably not going to do anything. And I was like, okay, right? What's the worst that can happen? Listen to us all talk at the coach sneak peek. I followed up, and she's a really good friend of mine. Like, imagine a good friend of yours right now coaching with you. You probably are. I mean, and I don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth, but like, I never pictured, and just goes to show you, like, don't ever count anyone out. I would have never pictured her coaching with me, only because I didn't think that was like something like, look, the hustle, you want to, I don't know, do you want to do this or not? It's like, is that in her personality or not? And that was shame on me for assuming. But she was like, you know what? This is going to hold me accountable, and I think it might be good for me. And to this day, she just like says all the time, like, I love it. It keeps me it's for me too. Like, it keeps me busy. It keeps my mind busy. It keeps me accountable, truly, when you're showing up for other people. So yeah. And then I do have a third Emerald coach, and she and I became friends last summer through some common friends. Excuse me. So she and I just became friends, and I just was like, you should do this with me. I mean, so Jenna always says, like, you really have no, what do you say? Like, no shame in asking people that. I mean, I will say, like, I mean, I don't know if I should say that's all that that's all the coaches I have, but that is a decent amount and I really just started a couple of months ago, and I just shared, when you share what you love, and um, you know, when you show that you really love it, and I think people see that, but yeah.
Well, and also I mean, they were loving your boot camp and getting great results
They
too.
were.
So, maybe you guys might start thinking about like your own boot camps, and do you have clients that are seeing great results? Are they loving this? And I know, just like Darci said, it's so easy to think like, oh, they would never want to do this. I'm nervous to ask them. Well, you don't know until you ask them, and present the opportunity to them. And I always think it's a compliment. Like if someone were to come to me saying, girl, you're killing this, you should do this with me, I would totally be all over it and think of it as a compliment. And if it wasn't for me, I would let you know. So yeah. Do you guys have any questions for Darci or anything else, Darci, that you could share, or tips for them, or words of advice as they're pushing toward?
Yeah, I do actually. So I was very hesitant to post on Facebook. I'm a teacher. I do have an Instagram public page that I do share on, but for me, Facebook was like that place where you're like, oh, if people are following me on Instagram, they're going to follow me for this. It's like, Facebook is like my student teacher, like this male. I think of like this like guy who's like basically like a grandpa to me. I'm like, who am I really posting this in front of? I've got, classmates, males, but whatever, like old class. I'm like, who? That was like one place I was really worried about posting, not only just my coming out, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach post, but also just like a results post or any kind of post. So to this day, I will say that I'm still a little bit timid when it comes to Facebook, and I need to do more with it, because what I did was, and why I'm sharing this is, I posted my transformation, and I had like a little blurb on there, and they always say like, follow up with your likes. I always hesitated and said like, you don't want to come off as not genuine. So that always worried me, but I did, just message. It was a college person that I went to college with, and I said, hey, thanks for the love on my post. I really appreciate it. And I think it was like a little blurb of, do you want to check out some more information? I'm loving these groups. It's really, just basically a small thing about what I've been loving. And I mean, to my surprise, she said, sure, I'll check, see more information. And that was like crazy to me that again, you assume, but you never know. She liked my post and never came to me. She never said, can I have more info? What are you doing? I initiated that conversation. And once again, it's just one of those like lessons you don't ever know until you ask. And I am still learning the language of like how to ask without sounding so like desperate or salesy, or because nobody wants to sound like that. You want to be genuine and really just share what you love about what you're doing and what your groups bring, and that is that.
Do all of you guys post on Facebook? Okay, good. That is your warm market. Those are going to be the people that trust you. So it's a great place to be sharing. Awesome. All right, Katie, do you want to share?
Yeah. Hi, ladies. So I did not hit diamond in 1 month. That's amazing. I think I hit diamond like 6 months in. For me, I had signed my husband up, but he was on the wrong leg. So I had to cancel his account and wait 6 months to get him back. In the meantime, I signed my dad up, and then I had a working Emerald coach as well. So I used my dad, added some people there, and then had my other Emerald coach. And then once I was able to sign my husband up, I've been starting to build him to maintain my diamond, which has been great. But I personally had a slower approach, because I have if I'm like, go, 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 I get overwhelmed, and then I don't do anything at all. So I just have to do a slower, more steady approach to things so that I'm more consistent. And so it's sustainable, just like a health and fitness plan in a sense. So for me, that's kind of the approach I had to take. I had to take the pressure off of not so much like hitting rank, but just the trackers overwhelmed me. So it was just, I made like my own smaller one so that I was consistent and able to do the things. And even just doing those things every day and showing up on my stories And ultimately being a product of the product was key for me. When I started my coaching journey, I was 30 pounds heavier. So over the last year, I've lost 30 pounds. I've shared that on my stories and my posts and my everything that I've done. And that has truly helped my business grow. And then over the last year, I've had challengers have incredible success who are now coaching as well. So I really, for me, it was just, I don't know, I had to kind of like tune out what everyone else was doing because it really got in my way. And some months I didn't hit Success Club, and then some months I was Success Club 15. So I had to do it my own way. And it's what has helped me stay so consistent, I think. So whatever that is for you, I think just choose like the things that you can do and do them every single day, because not what someone else does might not work for you. And you just have to find the thing that is going to make you successful. So that's like how I got to where I am, and really just show up and be a product of the product, like get your own results, do it for yourself, and the rest kind of follows. At least that's how it's been for me. So now, sorry, go ahead.
I can totally relate to that of like
Yeah.
staying in your lane, because it is so easy to get distracted by all the other coaches in the network or all the other things that are going on. And, when you just focus on what you're doing, focus on your journey, because your journey comes first, and that's what's going to lead to get results and lead to find your fire in this business.
Yeah.
That's ultimately going to lead to seeing success. So I love that.
Totally. Yeah. I've been able to maintain Diamond for a longer period of time, I think, because I've just stuck to what I know I can do every single day. And I have like a master list of ideas and things that I've heard from other people that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go look at that, but it overwhelms me. So I'm like, one thing at a time. I'll implement one new system at a time, get that fine-tuned, and then I add in the next one, because I swear we're going through like seeing if my son has ADHD. And I'm like, I think I have ADHD because I'm like so overwhelmed, so easily overwhelmed. But so that's kind of how I've figured out like what works for me. And I think that would just be key for you girls as you try to figure out what works for you too. Just a few things at a time so you can stay consistent, do it every single day. Unless you have it in you and you just want to do all the things every day. That just wasn't me. But
so you said your dad was an Emerald and you had a challenger. Did you ask the challenger or did she come to you?
So I had been talking to her for a while because my challenger lost 100 pounds almost this last year on her journey. And I'm like, you have to share your results. And she had so many people that were like, what are you doing? And it was just a sign. She's like, and she just has a passion for helping others. And so we talked for a while. She had a million questions, hesitations. She's a mom of three under 5. She's a full-time working nurse. So she had all the reasons to not add it to her plate. But she's helped so many people already. So it's been really fun. So she, along with now my husband, are my, I have 3 or 4 emeralds now. So they're, and it's great. And everyone's doing really well. And I'm approaching like their coaching business the way I approach mine. And I think that's helped them not feel that overwhelm and them like want to keep going. Cause I just don't want anyone to feel burnout. That's like my, I shouldn't project my own issues on people, but I feel like Jess is probably like, Katie, no. but that's personally, I just want people to love what they're doing. I want you girls to love what you're doing. So just make sure you're, stay in your own lane so that you don't feel that as well.
I love that and can totally relate.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions too.
Yeah,
okay. Finally joining. I was listening in my car the whole time. Okay, Katie, you make it sound like you had to do your own thing. You still worked crazy hard, even if you made your own tracker and everything like that. So I want to just stress that, because while I was listening, I was like, BS, you worked so hard. And I just want to stress that yes, like staying in your own lane is really important, and making sure like you're doing things in a way that is like true to you. So just, yes, if you see everyone else doing something that doesn't work for you, like just always know, like, and Krista, like it makes me think of you and choosing to do bar blend over gut protocol is like, if something feels true to you, stick with it. But one thing you had, Katie, is you've had a lot of clients.
Yeah.
Because even when you built your dad and stuff, like you didn't just build him with two, like he had a lot of clients.
Yeah.
So how did you attract all the clients?
So I reached out to some family friends who have businesses, and we did a corporate team chat, not corporate, they're not corporate, but little team challenge. So I had 10 people sign up under my dad that were doing a challenge through work. So I was able to build him and have padding under him for a bit. When I first started, I think I signed up like 14 people my first month. I had been on a journey before I started Beachbody, but it was like a yo-yo dieting, crazy experience. But I was already sharing on social before Beachbody. So I think people following my journey and realizing like, okay, she's found the thing she wants to do. And I'd already established some trust with them. They were like ready to join me from the get-go. So that probably helped me then. And then, like I said, I think just staying so consistent and showing up proved that I wasn't going anywhere, proved that I was in it for the long haul. And that, I think the way I share about everything, I'm really passionate and I like love it so much. And I think that's been the key too, because I get messages from people all the time. Even now I have people who already have coaches and they're just like, oh my gosh, like you just like have a fire about this. And I'm like, I know, I can't stop sharing it. So I think just like, if you really believe in the product, share it. Share your love for it, because it can really, it's changed my life and changing so many others. So I don't know. I think that's what it is for me, is just like, I'm really passionate about it.
Yeah, I love that. And just, it shows you what consistency is too, because how many invites do you send out daily? Or when you were pushing for Diamond, how many invites were you sending?
Honestly, not that many.
Yeah. So, but I want you guys to see that it's doing it consistently being on your stories, consistently putting out content. And what I see happen when we do these type of pushes is people will send like 100 invites one day and then won't invite again for 3 weeks. And we'll go like post 30 stories on their stories and post really hard and post this reel they feel really proud about, and then exhaust themselves where they can't keep it up. And really thinking about like consistency is key. And it's not just for business, but also I want you guys to put yourself in the shoes of your clients. How does it look to a client who, honestly, a lot of clients coach shop? Have you guys noticed that? Where it's like they follow us, and they probably follow all of us, honestly, and they're like looking for who they want to be with. And I know for me, consistent, Darci's like, yeah, that was me. But I got to think one thing that people look for is consistency. Someone who's excited about what they're doing, really loves it and has that energy, but also is consistently showing up. So if you're doing, 30 stories one day and then one the next, and then not posting for a while, and, being really up in your DMs and then not sharing for a while, like that, it's like, what am I going to get behind the scenes when I'm in your group? Is that how it's going to be too? So consistency is important. So just keep that in mind. Like, I think consistency trumps numbers on all aspects, given that they're still quality. You guys have any questions?
I do. So I lost 2 people this week, or they became inactive. We spoke about it earlier this week, but I was close to building my husband up, before that happened. My question is, I know Jenna has said when she went to build her husband, you just tell these customers like, hey, my husband's going to be your coach, but I'm running his business. Is that accepted very well by these people? Like, what do they say?
So I've always said, I'm curious what everyone else says. I say, my husband and I work this business together. You're going to see his name, but I'm going to be working with you. And that's the truth. To me, I think of it as if you owned like a Chick-fil-A and you were the one operating the cashier and your husband worked from home, it doesn't mean he doesn't own it with you. You're just the face of the business.
Right. Okay.
I've never had anyone go like, ooh, that's weird.
No, for me, it's funny. signed someone up from high school, and my husband and I went to high school together. So she knows, like, he's, you know, she knows what this, like, is he going to run this? So I was like, hey, do you care? I'm going to sign you up under Ray. Don't worry. I run his account, but it's just to balance our, I was like, it's just to balance my coach account, and I'm just kind of moving people around. So don't worry about it, but I'm still your, I made it sound real. Like, don't even get into any business, really. Just made it real, like nonchalant type of thing.
Okay.
At the end of the day, all they care is that they're going to be in your group and they're going to work with you, is what I have found.
And I'll just say sometimes too, like, it's a placement thing in my system. Don't worry about it. It's just going to say Brandon Bray, but I'm your coach.
Oh my gosh, Jenna, this reminds me, and I don't know if you knew about this, Jess, but when we needed that one person, and I had a random person like sign my forms out of nowhere. Like, I've never had a random person. It was a male. Okay.
Oh gosh.
And I said, Jenna, what do I do? She's like, yeah, whatever. Like, we needed someone under Ray, someone else. And I was like, okay, I went through this whole thing, and I forget how did it happen, but we were like, he needed to fill out like 10 times. He needed to put, he was on the wrong leg. And then it was a stranger from Instagram. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Can you go back? It is so funny. Like, I mean, if you could just see this back and forth, and Jenna's going, oh my God, he has to fill it out again. It was like 5 times. And he became inactive. He was like, you're going to change my life. I actually was like, this guy wants help. And then he didn't later, but it did help us at the time.
So funny. How random too.
Yeah. Well, he kept like putting the wrong email. Like, he was misspelling it. So we kept working through, and like, yeah, I was like, he needs to fill this form out right, or we're not going to get it.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Of course, it's like a random male stranger from the internet too. What are the chances of that alone? What other questions do you guys have? Did anyone hear from Brandy?
I didn't.
Okay.
She confused it with other calls.
Oh,
Can't hop on right now.
All good. You guys have any questions? No questions at all.
I know we talked about, so I'm assuming, or looking at the board, I think a lot of you guys do need emeralds. Does someone come to mind when we're talking like challengers that are seeing success that you've been nervous to ask them to coach? Is anyone coming to mind that you guys could think of that could be that one person?
I have 2 that I've invited to watch the mentorship, but one in particular, she has been doing an MLM, like some type of makeup. I think it's called like Limelight or something. I don't know. I'm not familiar, but she did share with me that she is very intrigued by this and has been thinking about it. She got 2 kids and she's a dental assistant and stuff. So she stays busy, but like, she wants to get out of that MLM she's in, and she's seriously thinking about signing up as a coach. So I'm so excited. I just don't know when. And I don't want to rush her, but she pretty much let me know that she's very interested.
So keep in mind, someone can do both up until they're a star diamond. And if it were me, we've got our new coach mentorship starting on Monday. To me, it would be better of you to not rush her, but to let her know, like, hey, I know, like, and even say, like, I don't want to rush you making this decision, but we've got this new coach mentorship. It's once a month. If you're really thinking about this, I'd love to have you join us. And try this out. And if it doesn't seem like it's for you, you can always cancel, but I'd hate for her to sit on it and decide in a week and then have to wait until May 5th or whatever to have to do the next mentorship. And I will say having this mentorship be in a group and start on a certain date has been great for recruiting, because there's a lot of people who have been on the fence that they don't want to have to wait another month. And so they're on it. So to me, I would think about it as it's not really rushing her. It's honestly, if she's really interested, this is in the best interest of her, is to get started with us rather than wait an entire month and have to wait.
Especially, I'm assuming she doesn't have Beachbody on demand, right? Would she be a new member?
No, she's one of my preferred customers.
Oh, she is. Sorry. Okay. Gotcha.
But she's the one that kept showing up and she's doing everything right. That's why I approached her about coaching.
Okay, well then she can upgrade as a coach for free the first time. And it's like, there's no difference if she waits a month or, does it now, essentially, except training starting. So I'd let her
And
know.
what was the date when the April when?
It's next Monday. We're starting training.
Okay.
And how cool would it be to, like, especially if she's loving the groups,
Right.
let her know that with you starting a new group between you and Lydia, like, she could help run this next new group that you're starting.
It's true.
I don't know, like, that would excite me. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank y'all.
Keep in mind, they can always say no, but you can always offer.
yeah.
And if she says no, then that's okay. But she might decide, especially if she's already signed up and has all the things, it's not going to cost her anything extra. Like, why not?
Right.
How many of you guys have family members signed up that you guys plan to work both sides? Or do you guys need emeralds?
I have my husband on one side, and then I did have my mom, and then she went inactive. So I'm trying to get her back inactive, and she would be on my left leg, I think. So
Okay.
right now I have one on my left, and then I have two. Okay, the one on my left is inactive. I'm trying to get her back active. And then she potentially would be one of my emeralds. And then my husband would be my other emerald. He's on my right. I have two active on my right.
Okay.
My mom on my left. Yeah.
Okay. Anna, what about you? Do you have emeralds?
I have my husband signed up. He's on my right, but I don't have anybody under him now. And then on my left, I have 2 preferred customers, but no other coach. So I'm having a really hard time getting just anybody to sign up in general. So I've been trying to focus on getting just somebody to sign up with me to do it, to be a preferred customer, versus I know that I know I need other coaches too, but I'm like trying not to overwhelm myself with needing so much, and trying to focus on just getting a team.
Yeah. One person at a time, right? Did any of you guys share your staple story on Instagram last week? I don't think I got tagged in a single one, so I'm guessing no one did. Do any of you guys do that?
No. I've been so every day about my gut protocol, just trying to get my April group built up. I'll be honest. I just reached out to 2 people that I thought might want to coach. I never went on and shared my staple story. I meant to.
Okay, well, I'm going to challenge you guys to do so. Part of going diamond, and I bet Katie and Darci would agree, like, this business is very different when you have working coaches. Would you guys agree with that the business changes when you have people doing this with you? And it's very easy. And especially Anna, I know you want to just get someone signed up, but what if, I know a big part of your story is very similar to Jenna and I, where it's like, we joined for the business. And what if you share your story genuinely? Because I think this is the thing, is we try to get people to join, but when we actually stop and just share our story, like the most genuine way possible, like that's when people are going to join us. It's not when we're pushing, just like people can tell when we are trying to just get someone signed up versus genuinely sharing this. So Krista, your staple story is like why you do this, why you coach. And, there's many reasons why all of us coach. We just saw these girls in Punta Cana this week and we're like, for the trips, for the community, for the friends, like for all these things. But really, like when it comes down to it, like all of us, I would think about, like, if the trips left, would you still coach? I would coach with or without trips, because I mostly don't even like to go on them. I'm a homebody. If the community went and you had to do this all by yourself, would you do this? If, you had to work in an office, would you do this? If you couldn't make any money, would you do this? And it kind of helps you figure out, like, narrow down, like, yes, I'd still do it without that, that's a perk. A lot of these things, the reasons we coach are perks, but then it comes down to a reason we coach. And I'll be honest, the effort I put into coaching, if it didn't allow me to quit my job and be home, I wouldn't do it at the level I do it. I'd do it on the side. I probably would be very inconsistent with it. I probably would do it more so like on social media, but I certainly wouldn't run groups or anything like that if it weren't for being able to stay home with my kids. And everyone's stories are very, very different. because I know some people would not do this if they had to do it on by themselves, if they didn't get to be a part of a team. There are some people who do this for the travel. They love those type of incentives and love to get to travel for free. Everyone does this for very, very different reasons, but it's important to share, why do you do this? And, you know, we've got this webinar coming up, and I think you guys might surprise the freaking hell out of yourselves if you shared it and found out that you actually had 3 people coming to the webinar this week and they actually joined. And even like Brittany, for you guys who have preferred customers, like your customers watch you too. Sometimes sharing these stories aren't just for like random people on the internet to come and be like, I want to coach. It's for the people that are currently in your groups going like, dang, like she's doing what I'm doing, but she's getting paid for it, or she's being able to travel because of it, or she's part of a team and she gets to do all these fun things because of coaching, that they're going to start thinking about doing this themselves. But even when it comes to like your weight loss journey, like when was the last time you actually shared your weight loss journey? What got you started? What did the beginning look like for you? Because when you actually can share a story rather than, a lot of times we lead with our groups and our products. And what if you led with the story, and then the groups and the products were the tools that you were going to use to help someone, rather than what we lead with? Because oftentimes we lead with like gut protocol, with what we're eliminating, or Shakeology or Energize. But it's like, what if we thought about those as just the tools, and that really focusing on our story? Because that's where someone's going to be watching your stories tonight and be like, dang, she sounds just like me. Like literally, I can relate so much. And that's what's going to make them tap on the sticker or swipe up to DM you or respond to your DM, and they're going to join you, is because of that story. And I know it can be vulnerable to like put your story out there, but that truly is why people join you, or don't join you and join someone else, is your story. And I know it's easy to put off because you got to invite, but I wonder if you guys would lead with that, what would happen?
Also, I know I talked about this in the chat too, but like your like story of you, like I find like the simplest things that is relatable to your viewers, or is relatable to your challengers, is like that where you are in your business right now, you know. So don't think you have to have this like elaborate, you know, like I know when I go on my stories and talk about working full-time and doing this full-time, sometimes it's not very relatable to a lot of people. You know, yes, it's inspiring, but you know, being able to share the small things, you know, being able to pay for my daughter's dance classes in the beginning, paying for groceries, you know, what coaching income has done for my family, that's what people can really relate to.
And people always want to know, like, how'd you start? I mean, I'm doing Q&A on my stories right now, and it's always like, but not what you're doing now, but how'd you start? How did you get going? What motivated you? Like people want to hear that beginning story. So it's like sharing that beginning story of your health and fitness journey and linking it to your challenge group that's coming up, or the beginning story of what got you into coaching. Like that's where people relate, is that start, because they're on the other side of that starting point. They can't maybe relate to where you are now, especially if you've had a big transformation, but they can relate to how you started and how you got going. So I know it can be easy to put at the bottom of your to-do list, but I know for me, whenever I'm looking at like, I need to recruit, it's always sharing my story in my stories with a call to action, with a strong, bold call to action. Not a like, let me know if you think you're interested, but like, you need this, and letting them know why they need this. And, Anna, especially you starting as a coach from the get-go, why do they need this too? I mean, all of you guys are a coach. What made you guys decide to coach? Why does someone else need this too? And your ideal people are going to relate to why you coach. And maybe it's going to be because it gives them purpose, because being a stay-at-home mom, they needed something for themselves, or they are so sick and tired of the rat race of corporate and they want something that to be able to get themselves out, and this is the ticket out. We all coach for different reasons, but I think you guys would really surprise yourself if you shared your story, even if it's a few longer bit in your stories. But being able to do that, like, to me, when pedal to the metal, if I was in your shoes right now, I'd be reaching out to every inactive person. And because to me, inactive is not just someone I need to get diamond. It's if they're inactive, it means they've stopped products. Why? Are they on their journey still? What's going on? And it doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm trying to hit diamond by next Thursday. You need to get active, but like actually reaching out, what's going on? Why are they inactive? You know, if you have people falling off, ask for feedback, because that's great for you to know. So that way, maybe you can figure out something you could do differently in your groups or different check-ins to help people stay on. You know, a lot of times I find that people aren't using their product enough. So gosh, I need to be talking about product more in my group and what I'm using it for and how I'm making, you know, people posted about like Shakeology ice cream and cookie, like cake pop things and like all these different things you can do with it. I know people who even turn their Energize into ice cream, or popsicles in the summertime. And I'm like, that sounds delicious. Or puts it in the afternoon with their LaCroix. It's like, have you shared these different things you can do with products if you get the feedback that people aren't staying on? And then the second thing I'd be doing is reaching out to all my preferred customers who are rocking it and letting them know we've got training next week. And I'd love for them to do this with us. Because, and keep in mind too, a lot of times for your preferred customers, it's not going to be because they want to build $1 million business. They don't care. And that's not what they're in here for. But man, if they could get their shakes paid for, like that's huge for a lot of people. It's like, gosh, what if you could help 3 people? You'd have your friends in the group and you get money towards your shakes. Like how amazing would that be? And then I'd be reaching out to my girls, like that could be working coaches, and like ask them like, who have you invited? It's just like what we do here is like, who are you talking to? And help them with it. Just like what, you know, Jenna did with Darci is getting on a power hour. I mean, think if all of you guys hopped on a power hour with your working coaches, even if it's just one extra person on there, but you did invites and did those type of things. And then I'd be on my story, sharing my story. I'd be posting a transformation photo and I'd be hustling the follow-ups. Follow-ups are so important. And I know we don't want to bug people, but I always change my perspective on that of what if we're not bugging them and what if they literally are interested and forgot about it? I mean, how many things do you have on your to-do list that you got distracted from or like, oh yeah, I need to do that. My list is like this long. And so to me, my best example of this is I had a girl who was selling essential oils, and anytime I posted about like my anxiety or a cut or my kids got hurt, it's like, you need these oils, you need these oils. She was always in my freaking inbox. And what do you know? She's quit and I still am buying oils. But I ended up joining her and she ended up joining me as a coach too. And I joined with her because she was on top of it, rather than me just going to doTERRA.com and signing up. And I never thought of it as, you know, she's annoying the crap out of me. I wish she'd just stop. It's like, I thought of it as like, man, she really wants to help me. And so what if the perspective is, I really want to help this person? And they can tell me no, but I'm still going to invite them. So just a few things to think about, guys. I know we've got like a week and a half. Oh yes, referrals are huge. And Darci put that in the chat for anyone who's watching the recording. But yeah, sometimes it's like, if you know, do you know someone who would be interested? I know, what's his name? Bob Heilig always talks about that. Ray Higdon always talks about that. Like, if you're not interested, then do you know someone who might be? But also, like, I know probably every single one of you guys on this call has someone to invite, myself included, has people I know I need to be inviting that I'm like, tomorrow. And it's like, you know, we should go and invite those people, because I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen, but sometimes what will happen is these people that you really want to be inviting that are on your list and they keep getting pushed over because you're scared, end up joining with someone else. And then you kick yourself going like, oh my gosh, I wanted to invite them and I thought they wouldn't be interested. I got in my head and now they joined so-and-so. So keep that in mind too, guys. I'm curious, Darci, Katie, and Jenna, if you guys had a week and a half left to hit diamond, what would you guys be doing right now?
When I was pushing, I don't know how long you girls have been coaching, but I went all the way back in my DMs from the first week that I signed up. And I reached out to every single person I had a conversation with a year ago to say, hey, been a little while, or actually that's a lie. So I started like checking in on their stories for like a week. And then I kind of would start conversations. And then it was like, hey, I remember we talked a while back about, you know, about this. I'm still doing it. Have you been interested? And probably half of those people ended up signing up this last month. Or, you know, in the last couple of months. It's just because the conversations kind of can go on for a little bit, but I would just say, go however far back you can and just start having those conversations again, you're still here, you're still showing up, you are wanting to run groups and add more people, and just share how much more you've grown to love the process and the product, and that how it's been impacting your life since you last chatted, and see if that helps. Sometimes they just need a reminder. And like, I for sure get ghosted a lot still, but also like, I would say it's probably 50-50 at this point. And so don't give up, because I've had people I get people messaging me now who I talked to a year ago that I haven't followed up with. And they're like, okay, I think I'm finally ready. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. So don't give up on those people that you've talked to who maybe have ignored you, because they're just, if they're still watching your stories and keeping up with what you're doing, it's just a matter of time.
Totally agree. And keep in mind too, I always remind myself, like, we're asking someone not to just spend money, but to change their lifestyle. And they might not have been ready at Christmas time when they were shoving their mom's cookies in their mouth and enjoying the holidays. But maybe now they're like, okay, pants are getting tight, I'm ready to do this. Or it's, summertime. I mean, gosh, I'm thinking about pulling out my shorts. I'm like, oh crap, I need to get back to like working really hard too. And it's like, sometimes we have certain things that pop up in our life that kind of remind us like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. So might not have been the best time when you first talked, but maybe now is a different time. Darci, Jenna, any final tips?
Yeah, I was going to share that a month ago, I posted something. It was a variety of like stories. It was like my picture, and it was like, I don't know, it was like an introduction of like leading up to an invite. And I can't remember. It was like just one of those story sequences. I forget what you would call them. And what I did was I swiped up in my face, because I did put those in my Facebook. So Super Warm Market. And I swiped up and said, hey, all I said to the people that viewed those stories was, hey, are you interested in checking out more info on this? And I got a good handful of people that were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that was surprising to me, because again, I never would have thought that that would happen. And then the other thing that I did get some traction with was, if you guys aren't using the 4 weeks for everybody sample workout as a tool to kind of like initiate conversation and sort of get a lead that way, I just posted a literal text thing in my Facebook that said, looking for busy mamas who are interested in a 30-minute low impact workout. Intern, I just want some feedback. And I got like 15 people that were like, yeah. Now, did they all sign up? Maybe not, but they are people to follow up with now. I did get one person who joined and got a package that way. But I will say that would have not happened had I not put that out there. So that is definitely a tool to use for sure. And any of those free workouts that we have the job one, but like obviously we're promoting the gut protocol right now. So that is definitely something I would throw in. If you haven't done that yet, definitely post something about like free workout sample.
Love that. So
Sorry, my doctor called. I totally just missed all of that.
Oh, so something that works for me, and this works for even posting in your challenge groups, is doing incentives. I've done incentives for getting people signed up, end of the month, trying to hit Success Club, trying to hit Diamond, or even just offering incentives for your challengers referring people. So, and then that way you could either talk to them about if they want to actually make the money and sign them up under them, or if you want to sign them up under you, preferably under them to help you with your Emerald. But I find incentives work really well. Like, people love apparel or cute cups, and it can help you build your diamond. So.
And Darci, were you saying that you posted it in one of your local groups?
Oh yeah, I shared that that Facebook story feed. It was just like a story sequence, and I swiped up and I didn't do it to every person, because I was like, I did pick and choose, but I did do it to a lot of people. And I just said, hey, are you interested in checking out more info? And a lot of people were very receptive to that. And then the other thing I shared was, if you're not throwing the 4 weeks for everybody sample workout like out there, I got a lot of people that I literally posted a text. It was not even a picture. It just said, hey, with one of those color on Facebook, you could pick a color to like draw attention to it. And I just said, looking for some busy mamas to check out this 30-minute workout. Intern, I just want some feedback. And I got a lot of people that wanted that feedback, not that signed up, but I did get one package out of it. And then also now leads is what I talked about. Now I could just continue to follow up with.
Yeah, I love that. I see so many people doing that. And a lot of people will try the workout and be surprised at themselves that they actually really enjoy it. Another thing is, I don't know if you guys have like local groups, but I know down here in like the Bothell and Snohomish area, we have these local groups. There are community groups, there's mom groups, and they have like networking Wednesdays in there where you can like post about your business and stuff. And I did that so much when I was building my business and connected with so many moms, especially like, or just like even messaging the admin of certain groups. Like, some groups will kick you out if you do it and you're not supposed to, but you can post about your boot camps, and especially like these local mom groups. It's like a lot of times people are really interested, but it can be a great way to even just make new connections too, of being active in these Facebook groups. Like, we're so focused on Instagram that we forget. It's like, I'm in so many groups on Facebook where it's like I've connected with people and you can be friends. And then once they come to your page, they're going to see what you're sharing. They're going to watch your stories, that it doesn't even sometimes have to be an invite. They're going to see it. But inviting them outside of the group too can be great.
Quick question. When you posted it in the group, like that you wanted someone to, like, people to try the workout, did you post the link in there, or like they had to ask you for the link for the sample workout? Or you just posted it and they could click on it?
I just I'll even show you the post, but it was just like a basic text. It was not even the link, because if I just here's what it said. I put teachers too.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just was trying to draw attention to anybody. I got 16 comments out of that, and I just said, I just need your honest feedback in return. And yeah, I got some people that said, you had me at low impact. And then I had some people that said, just curious, I'm interested. Probably, what does it entail? Whatever. And so, yeah, then I messaged them, and then I gave them like some info and waited a day or two. I think it was over the weekend. So I waited till like Sunday, and I was like, hey, did you check out that low impact workout yet? I got a lot of people that were like, not yet. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to send you my spiel anyway. So I gave them I literally was like, well, just so you know, there's a new program. Like, because really, you give them a couple days, and then you're like, okay, how long am I going to sit here and like, wait? I'm just going to be, there's a point where you just have to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to share. And so that's what I did. But yeah, Jess, there's a mom's group that I'm in, and every Saturday it's like Small Business Saturday. So I messaged the admin who I went to high school with, and I was like, can I share? And I did. Again, I got, I think, 2 people who wanted the sample workout. Nothing yet, but like, you never know,
To me, it's all about growing that follow-up list though, because those are the people who end up in the next coming months, even just continuing to follow along. They're going to try the workout, get curious. Also, you guys, I made a guide this weekend of free workouts, and I'm happy to share it with you guys, or even make a more generic version for you guys that doesn't have my name on it. But that's been good for me too, of giving people a week of free workouts. You might not want to do it, well, I don't know. I guess people don't really have to do a week to decide if they like this stuff or not. They probably try a workout or 2 and decide if they like it. But another great way to start conversations is, offering these free workouts and using those
like the variety, because at least like whatever, if it's cardio or if it's low impact, or, they get to choose, like, not like they're going to do them all.
Yeah, exactly. So I added like bar blend, job 1, and a little description of all of them. Something like that. I love that. So that way you've got something that is free for them to try. People love free stuff.
Can I ask, just,
Yeah.
this is off topic, but have you heard of the apparel or like leggings? It's SAVVI.
Savvy, yes.
Are those good?
I have not tried them. All I know is they always want me to come sell leggings with them. And I was like,
I know, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to buy them to try them, much less sell them. But a girl approached me about it, and I thought I would ask, since I have opinions here, if anyone knows if they're even worth buying.
I've tried Zaya, but I have not tried Savvy before. And I don't really know anyone who's tried it now that I think about it. But they're in my inbox all the time.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, it is interesting now that I think about that. Zaya, though, I've heard a lot about. And a lot of people love
I've
Zaya.
had a few people from Savvy reach out, and I think they have like a new influencer program. So
Yep.
like you can sell Savvy even if you're a Beachbody coach, because you're just like selling what it's like you're doing a try on like with Pink Lily, and you're getting commission, so you don't have to recruit anyone or anything.
Oh,
So I feel like they're preying on Beachbody coaches.
Yeah.
I get so many of those now.
that makes more sense because I get it all the time. And part of me is like, do you not see I do Beachbody? But I think they see it like, yes, I do, which is why
Exactly.
apparel would be amazing. Which now we just need Beachbody to step it up and get good apparel. That would be really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, our other call is starting. Any other last questions? You guys still
I
in
have
it?
a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Anna.
Okay, it's a little off topic too, but like as far as sharing content goes, I've seen, just because I've followed so many Beachbody coaches for so long in the past, I noticed that a lot of who I follow share like a lot of information as far as like what they eat every day, and like almost to the point now that I am a coach that I think like, what if that was my approach, like to get like, because food and recipes and things like that would be what I would be comfortable sharing a lot of, just because that's what I put a lot of time into. But it makes me wonder, like if I put that type of content out there and create my own group to bring people to, what would I be, I wouldn't want to be oversharing that in my stories, because then why would they want to join the group if they're already getting that information through my stories, if that makes sense.
Do people just want the information though?
I don't know.
I personally love when people share it. Like to me, Katie, you do an amazing job of sharing your food. I love seeing people's food. Like I like seeing like, what are people eating, especially this gut protocol. I'm like, what do I eat? And I know a lot of people like seeing that, but just because I actually feel like sharing my food is why someone would join me, is because they see what they get to eat on the plan, and I'm giving them a sneak peek of the plan. I feel like I'm not giving them the plan. Someone could not follow To Be Mindset by following Katie, me, any of us, right? But they could get a sneak peek of what the meals will look like. They could get to see how much food, like Katie, your meals are so large. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could eat like that and look like her. I'm all in, you know? And like Jenna, you know, she shared that avocado bagged freaking salad from Costco that has changed my life. And it's like showing how simple this eating healthy can be too. So to me, I think people join us because they want the tools we have. Sorry if you can hear my kids throwing a fit out here. But being able to see what we eat and be able to see what they're going to get. But I also feel like people join us for the community too, to not just see us, but to connect with all the people that we have gathered along the years, the community we've created to be a part of that. And so, yes, I would make sure you're not sharing so much on your stories that someone wouldn't need to join your group. But unless you're sharing the To Be Mindset videos or like the full on workouts, people still need you and the group. That's my first.
I'll say too, when I share food, I share a little bit about like the plated portions, but I don't really give them the full picture. And I'll just say, you know, like, this is what I ate for lunch. Dinner's going to look a little bit different. Or I'll share like ways that I eat a meal, like ways that I use my meal prep for lunch and dinner. So it looks different. I don't explain totally why it is what it is, but that's when they reach out to me to ask for more info. So it's kind of like a sneak peek of how you can work the plan and make it simple. Because I think that's like so many people's biggest concern is how overwhelming doing a diet or a lifestyle can be. And I think if you can simplify that for them, it makes it so much more approachable. And that's been my experience. And I share a lot of food. So it's like my favorite thing to share. And I have a lot of conversations off of it.
And I know Tasha Pearson shares her To Be Mindset tracker all the time, like her full day. So someone could technically see the whole thing, but even if you have the tracker, I still feel like you need To Be Mindset. You still don't know what proteins and what counts as this and what's an FFC, you know? And so I've actually signed so many clients because I've talked about how we don't have to count calories or macros, and we get this tracker. And when people ask me for the link for the tracker, I say, like, you really need the whole program. And I don't give it to them. And a lot of times you'd be surprised how many people then want it and will sign up with the To Be Mindset with the whole package because of that tracker or what we're eating. Anything else, guys? Okay, well, we've got another call starting next. If you guys are hopping on to the Slay Squad call, hopefully you guys are still all in for the 7th. Happy to help you guys continue. But I think this is where it's like, yes, just focusing on daily consistency and just really also focusing on like, what can you do rather than focusing on like, who's not doing this, who's canceled, because trust me, that can be really defeating to look at. But focusing on like, what can you do? What is totally in your control still, and focus your time and energy there. And you guys totally got this. Like I said, this was not a mentorship we put out to the entire team because we wanted to work with you guys and have full belief that you guys can do this. So I'll let you guys go unless anyone else has any closing words. Okay, well, Jenna, did you say something?
Oh, I said, yeah, you guys got this.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Well, you guys got this, and lean into this chat too. I can tell when you guys are quiet. I know what quiet means. So lean on into the chat because we're here for you guys, and also like hop on, let's do some power hours, and we've got like a week and a half, plenty of time. Okay, I will see you guys in the chat and on the next call, hopefully, and hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Bye, guys. And thank you so much, Darci and Katie, too, for your time. I really appreciate it. Bye, guys.